Who's awake still? I don't know if Rudy's going to join us or not. It's been a long night. The Cowboys did not lose to the Packers. The Packers did not lose to the Cowboys. This thing ended in a freaking tie. What are y'all doing, man? Good Lord. 40-40. The final. There are so many. Let me begin here. F you, Micah Parsons, and F the Green Bay Packers. The Packers should have blown the Cowboys out. So I said this all week long. You're the big underdog. You're facing a scenario here where the Packers are probably going to come in here and whip your butt. And Mike is probably going to have a great game. And the narrative's going to be that Dallas is stupid and it's just another dumb move by Jerry and they never should have made the trade. And even though the Cowboys didn't win, I feel great about this. To score 40 points on a Green Bay defense that had been one of the best in the league for the first part of the season. On a night in which Micah Parsons didn't do shit, although he did have the tackle on Dak at the end. We don't that set up the field goal to give the Cowboys the 40-37 lead in the overtime. We can't be absolutely 100% certain that Dak would have made it to the goal line. So the headline will be Michael saves touchdown. Give him credit. It's the only thing he did all night long. Prior to Micah Parsons' tackle of Dak in the overtime inside the 5, I think he'd been credited with 2 half tackles, no solo tackles, no sacks. He may have had 3 pressures. He was just a guy out there. Tyler Guyton, and I don't know if Guyton got hurt or they just got tired of watching him be sucky. Credit something called Nate Thomas, who comes in and did a good job on Micah Parsons. That was incredible. So credit Nate Thomas. I'll have to read up on him. And credit the Cowboys, man. That was awesome. That was very cool. So, and they double teamed Micah most of the night. Not every play, but they double teamed him most of the night. Let me ask you this. This goes back to the trade. If Micah Parsons is so freaking good, how come when you double team him, he gets taken out of games? Reggie White got double teamed. You know what? To hell, that's not fair. I'm comparing Micah to the greatest of all time. Let's just talk about guys that play in the NFL now. TJ Watt, he gets double teamed every week. Myles Garrett gets double teamed every week. The Bosa brothers get double teamed every week. Chris Jones up in Kansas City, he gets double teamed every week. They still eat. When you double team Micah Parsons, he ain't the same dude. And the Cowboys were right. I'm telling you right now, one of the reasons the Cowboys made this trade, there's a lot of reasons the Cowboys made this trade. Money. They needed to stock draft picks. They know they're not a Super Bowl contender. Micah Parsons is a pain in the ass. The other thing is Jerry also said, and a lot of y'all made fun of him, Jerry said Micah's not great against the run. When you run against Micah Parsons, he's not that effective, especially when you're double teaming him. Micah Parsons was not even, he may have been the worst guy on defense, certainly the least productive guy on defense tonight. So in my opinion, this is a victory. I know it's a tie, but it feels really good to be a Cowboy fan tonight. You know, like I don't expect them to do a whole lot this year. I expect they got a lot of injuries, but everybody does. You know, they had a lot of guys come back tonight. Deron Bland, he's a rando. You know, Trayvon Diggs is a rando. They're going to make plays here and there, but they're going to give up plays here and there. They're just guys. Jair Elam, these guys like this. I love the Polynesian kid, Maris Lealfau. I like him, although he had the horrible personal foul call late in the game. The Cowboys are very mediocre on defense, and Matt Eberflus probably is until tonight. Oh hell, they gave up 40. Matt Eberflus is not great. By the way, I think I won. I had the Packers in my Survivor League, and they didn't lose. They tied. So I'm still in the Survivor League because they didn't lose. And I also said the Packers would score 40. So in a goofy way, I stay in the Survivor League because the Packers didn't lose. And I said they would score 40, and they did with a last-second field goal to tie the game. But they didn't win, and I feel great as a Cowboy fan. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate those that are still on with us late. Hell, Chris Needs giving money. Thank you, man. Chris Needs in the building, $1.99. Doom 32 times 4. Fuzzy math there. What do you mean fuzzy math? When a tie, it's a Survivor League. They didn't lose, so I stay in. Dale's saying that's bullshit. You have to win to stay in a Survivor League. Is that true? I don't really know. St. Laurent's in the building. Where you been, St. Laurent? Feels good to be back on the chat. Love the Polynesian kid too, Mike. And somebody's a bit Pockins. Pockins is a beast. Okay. So it's all about me. So am I still alive in Survivor League? Because I had the Packers. They didn't win, but they didn't lose. I wonder what the rules are. Dale says I should be eliminated. I don't know. Mason's in here. A tie feels so deflating. Does it though? You're a 6.5, 7-point underdog. Green Bay's supposed to be a world beater. Green Bay's, they got crowned as best in the conference outside of Philadelphia after the first week of the season. They didn't do shit in their loss to Cleveland on offense. So their offense sucked last week. Now their defense sucked tonight, and they give up 40 to the Cowboys with no CeeDee Lamb. Shoot, I feel way better about. I think Cowboy fans can leave this game tonight feeling a hell of a lot better about themselves than the Packers can, because the Packers are supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. The Packers were one guy away. Let's go trade 2 number 1 draft picks, a stud defensive guard or a nose tackle, and Kenny Clark, and then give Micah Parsons a guaranteed $180 million contract, because we're one Micah Parsons away from winning the title. He's our Charles Haley. And after 4 weeks, the Green Bay Packers are a mediocre 2-2. Same with the Dallas Cowboys. And as a Cowboy fan, I don't have any expectations for them. I still fully anticipate them to miss the postseason. So I feel like this is a win. I feel great. I feel great as a Cowboy fan tonight. I do. So who's in the chat? We're not going to go very long. This thing went super late. I think Rudy's gone to bed, which is okay because I got to get up and get ready for a show tomorrow. So Larry says ties in the Survivor League are just like losses. Okay. And if that's what I'm a man of the people. So whatever y'all decide is what if the people think I should be kicked out of the Survivor League, then fine. Man, I've never been happier to lose in all my life, if that's what happened tonight, because I thought that Green Bay was going to run Dallas off the field all week long. And after we're 6-7 minutes into the first quarter, and you can just hear it in Tirico and Collinsworth's voice. They were getting ready to start getting, all right, let's pull up some stories to talk about here, because it's going to be 35-0 at the half. Let's get some filler here. And it's 13-0, and Green Bay's having their way with the Cowboys. It looks like the freaking playoff game in January of 2024. And Wanye Thomas, who they love on special teams, gets through to block the extra point, and Marquise Bell takes it back to the house for a 2-pointer. So it's 13-2 at that point. And I know the defense gave up points all night long, but honest to God, that at least woke up the offense. And I was getting ready to come on here tonight and scream. Had the Packers blown Dallas out based on what we saw for most of the first quarter, I was getting ready to come on here and call for the firing of Brian Schottenheimer, because he looked like a guy that didn't think he had any chance to win this game either. Schotty's play calling in the first quarter, it was like their first series of the game. Run up the middle, run left guard, run to the right tackle, punt. Okay, is this the fucking NFL or not? Clearly, you're the underdog. Clearly, you're scared of Micah Parsons, but it's still the NFL. Run the plays. If Dak's going to get sacked 10 times and he's going to throw 5 interceptions, let him do it. Give him a chance. In the first quarter, Schottenheimer didn't even give Dak a chance. And when Schotty decided, all right, cool, let's go ahead and call some plays here and let's run the offense, Dak Prescott was absolutely sensational for this entire game. And how about the coming out party of George Pickens, who's had a couple of bad drops for sure, but he's a hero tonight. It was cool to see Jalen Tolbert get in the mix, and I've said this all season long. We're 4 games into the season. And so the Cowboys are now, I guess, technically 2-1-1. The Packers are now 2-1-1 too. I said 2-2 earlier. They're 2-1-1 because of the tie. I've said this all season long. Dak's played as well as he possibly can so far. I don't think he's elite, but he damn sure has been 4 weeks into the season. He's been great. This is the Dak Prescott that I used to defend left and right. It's 4 games. They got a lot of games now. They play 17 of these things. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think Cowboy fans ought to celebrate tonight, man. I got whiskey here, a little Buffalo Trace from Texas Cheer Liquor. Which, by the way, happy birthday to Mr. Singh. Today was his birthday. The proprietor of all 7 Texas Cheer Liquors all over our area. Happy birthday to him. We got money coming in. I love it. Thank y'all for the money. You want to jump in here in the super chat? Feel free. I'm losing my voice. I'm still trying to get over being sick all freaking week. Rosie's in the building. $5. Shout out to the referee for missing the intentional grounding. Yeah, that was a horrible no call. That was a bad no call, but shout out to the refs anyway, man. God almighty. Duster's in here. I think Taylor owes Rudy a coffee. So the bet was 1.5 sacks. What did Micah wind up with tonight? He didn't get any sacks, did he? Did Parsons have a sack? I don't think he did. Did they credit him a sack on the Dak? Was that a sack or a tackle? Because Dak was running, and it's based on whether or not he passed the line of scrimmage. See here, NFL. Let me go to the box score. Did they give him a sack on that? That's going to piss me off if they did. That's a cheap ass sack. But the over under was 1.5 sacks. I don't think he might have gotten that sack there. Okay, hang on, it's my fault. I should have had the stupid box score up. Let's go to Green Bay. Okay, defense. Parsons. Where are you at? I should have brought my old man glass. Here we go. Micah Parsons. He got 1 tackle. That's all he was credited with tonight. Yeah, no sacks for Parsons. Okay, no, they gave him a sack. My bad. All right, they did technically give him a sack. And so, yeah, so Rudy took the under. I took the over. So, yes, I owe Rudy a coffee. So, I'm out of the Survivor League, I think, because people are saying that if you tie, you don't advance. And so, I'm out of the Survivor League, I think. I owe Rudy a coffee, but they did score 40, so I got 1 for 3, which is fine. I think you're right, Duster. You are right. I do owe him because Rudy had the under on 1.5 sacks because he said that Rudy was saying that the Cowboys would double team Micah all night and he wouldn't do much. And Rudy was dead on right. I thought Micah would get off for 2 or 3 sacks because I thought he would dominate that damn failed ass left tackle they drafted from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton, who got benched apparently. No one said anything about him being hurt. So I don't know if he was hurt or not, but they rolled with that other kid, Nate Thomas, and he did okay. He did okay out there on the left side. John Esquibel's in the building, $1.99. Thank you, man. I am unreal. Amazing what the offense could be when you don't have to force feed a diva. You talking about CD? See, CD was the biggest cheerleader on the sideline tonight. He was super stoked to see those guys go off. That play that Dak made, by the way, the 40-whatever pass on the run, the busted play where he basically just throws it to the 1-inch line on the sideline, and only Tolbert can come up and get it, and Tolbert makes that sensational toe grabber. That was fucking awesome. Dak takes a lot of crap from me, a lot. But he played his ass off tonight, and he's been great these first 4 games. And that throw he made there that Tolbert came back to catch was, there's 6-7 dudes in the world that can make that play. Dak should get his flowers tonight for sure, man. That was awesome. Hudson 2-0. They gave Micah a cheap sack. That was a very cheap sack. Dak's trying to run the ball. Had Dak got one more inch, that's just a tackle, not even a sack. Micah didn't do shit tonight. He didn't do shit. For a guy making, they pay that guy $2 million every 2 weeks. I think that's what it is. What is it? What is he making? 45 this year? So if Micah Parsons is making 40, let's just go 40. These are rough numbers. These are loose numbers. Micah's making about 40 million bucks for 17 games. And in the NFL, you get paid every 2 weeks during the season. Micah makes $2.3 million a week. $2.3 million a week tonight for the Green Bay Packers. Got them one sack, one tackle, two pressures, and the defense gave up 40 to Dallas. Point Dallas, man. Point Cowboys on that. Doom 32/4 in the building. Thank you, man. $2. Shout out to Tolbert not being a sack of taters. Yeah, he's finally come on, man. Tolbert, I loved him when they drafted him. The only reason they needed to trade for George Pickens this year is because freaking Jalen Tolbert hasn't lived up to his end of the damn bargain. If Tolbert can continue to get better, they may not have the money to sign George Pickens. Pickens is an outright free agent at the end of the season. Someone's going to offer him dumb money. You're already paying CD Lamb stupid money. Maybe Tolbert can improve enough by the end of the season that they don't feel as bad about letting Pickens go. I don't see how you can have. And this is why I question the Pickens trade in the offseason. Obviously, George was awesome tonight, and they don't score 40 without him. But it's like, why are you trading for George Pickens when he's going into his free agent year? You're already paying CD $20 million a season. You're basically paying George Pickens for a season because if he has a good year, he's going to leave in free agency. Okay, well, we'll get into that in December, I guess. Rick T's in the building. Fuck Parsons. Fuck Green Bay. Right there with you. I freaking hate the Packers. I always have. I hated Brett Favre. I hated Aaron Rodgers. I hate Wisconsin. I hate Green Bay. And I hate Micah Parsons. He's made it easier to hate the Packers. Don't really care, but enjoy seeing the latest Super Bowl hype team F up. Thank you, Rick T, for your input. Appreciate you. Paulette the man's in the building. I wonder what Micah Parsons owes Green Bay for those pregnancy shots he has to take before the games. Tina G's in the building. Micah bought a suite at AT&T Stadium before the trade. They won't refund his money. LOL. He's stuck with that suite. Oh, he was bragging about how awesome the suite was and had all these people in his suite tonight to see him go out there and not do shit all night long. I feel great as a Cowboy fan. Just 2-1-1, and you tied Green Bay, and you scored 40 on them, and Micah didn't do anything. It's a good night for Jerry, honestly. If I'm Jerry, I feel great about things. Although, what was that on Jerry's lip? Did he bust his lip? Or did he have a herpes flare up from an old road lizard from back in the day? You can't be sure with Jerry. That was an ugly thing he had on his lip. But anyway, you need to put some shit on there. Can they get some makeup for that man? He's a billionaire. Put a little makeup on him. You know he's going to be on TV 40 times a night. I wonder if he busted his lip. He's 82 or whatever he is. Maybe he slipped or something. You never know when these guys get this old. Or it's just an old herpes flare up. All right, I don't have a lot. We've made a few bucks. I think Rudy went to sleep, which is fine. I need to go to bed too. It's 11:30. I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Nina Duran, the executive producer of this show. She helped me get on tonight. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Oh, hello. There's a ball there. Oh, I hear you. I don't see you. Thank you for running our show. I'm gonna get off here pretty quick. Love you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hope I know how to get off of this thing.
We log out. Thank you. So Bouquet flew all day long and didn't sleep all night last night because he went to a wedding and so he was hungover and sick. So he landed this afternoon and was like, dude, I can't do any post game. And we didn't even plan to do a post game. It was just kind of impromptu, but he was completely out of it. LoveYouHard TV just commented, Ola, that's my lady. What's up?
Yay.
Thank you, babe. Mike R is in the building. $10. Okay, we're making money. There you go. So I don't feel so bad staying up so late because we made some money. Shout out to Williams for being a journeyman vet running back and just being solid. Yeah, what a stud. Collinsworth compared him to Josh Jacobs. And before he got hurt, he was kind of a Josh Jacobs, kind of a bowling ball, really good seam cut running back, and did a good job. Thank you, Rick. Rick thinks you have a sexy voice, baby.
It's because I'm sleepy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good ender. We made $40, $50. That's good. All right, y'all. I just wanted to pop on, say we kept it short tonight because we're tired and we'll finish this Buffalo Trace and go to bed. But I feel great tonight as a Cowboy fan. To score 40, you don't lose technically, and you stop Micah Parsons' ass. And I know he'll get credit for saving the touchdown in overtime, whatever. Paying that kid $2 million a week to run around and not do shit. How great are you if when you double team you don't do anything? Not that great if you ask me. All right, I'm out. I'm done. I'm going to bed. Love y'all hard. We got in the building in the morning at 10 a.m. from the Pub Sports Radio studios in Southtown, Texas, the Texas Cheer Liquor Studios. Me and Rudy and Bouquet, provided Bouquet's not too hungover. We'll do a whole hour and a half plus tomorrow morning. We'll see y'all at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Cowboys tie. Pretty cool. Cowboys tie 40-40. I think it's the second highest overtime tie in the history of the league. I think I heard Tirico say as I was turning the TV off. All right, bye, con Dios. Have a good night and get some memes. We'll see y'all here in 10 hours at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Love your heart. See you. Thank you, baby. That's it. We're done. Go Cowboy.
Bye.
After Packers. Bye.